New update, OOP is emotionally cheating on her husband with a woman from work. I'm emotionally cheating on my husband with a woman from work. Hey Reddit, long-time lurker, first-time poster. I could really do with some advice as I don't have anyone to talk to about this. I hope I'm writing this is the correct way. So for some background, I, F31, am married to B, M33. We've been together over 13 years. He's been my first in everything in life. In the beginning of our relationship, things were great and we've built a comfortable life together. I guess with the years things have become a little stagnant, but I just assumed that was the natural progression of marriage. Naturally, the next step we've been considering is children. We've not been not trying, but we've also not been going out of our way to make it happen. However, I am seriously considering going back on contraception because of a new relationship which has begun to unfold. And this is where I need the advice. 6 months ago, a new woman started at my workplace, J, F30. She had come in on a temp role to cover a mat leave. She became popular with the team. She's very chatty, warm, and likable and fitted in straight away. We quickly became very fast friends. We hot desk at work, but I noticed whenever we were working together, she would always take the closest desk to wherever I was and vice versa. I started to find myself getting that little bit more excited about going into work because I would get to see her. There is never a dull silence when we are together. We are always laughing, giggling, and just having fun. We take lunch together, have been for after-work drinks together. She is just that best friend I've never had before. Even growing up, I was quite shy and always envied my little sister with her outgoing nature and having a huge group of best mates. We also have a friendship out of work. She invited me for a hike a few weeks ago and more since. I have been craving to go hiking for so long. B won't go with me. I asked him once for my birthday if we could take one hike. He said he would organize something. He didn't. We had ended up in the pub all day, and when I asked when we were going for my birthday hike, he had said he couldn't be bothered. On my birthday, since becoming friends with Jay, we have done lots of outdoor things together, which I've always wanted to do but been too shy/afraid to do alone. We message a lot and have confided in each other. I have told her that my relationship with B feels stale, that he doesn't want to do anything together, and if I suggest something different, he just says I can go without him. He just wants to drink at the pub, watch TV, or chill at home. I don't mind that sometimes, but I want more. I like being outside and being busy. I have confided in Jay that all the things we are doing together are things I wish B would do with me. She has always extended the invitation, but he always says no thanks. Obviously, as our friendship has deepened, I have found out more about Jay. She returned home after living in AUS for 2.5 years. She was in a pretty serious relationship out there with another woman, K, 29. However, Jay had to return home because her father passed away suddenly. The relationship breakdown was tough for Jay because she had to face the sudden death of her dad, but also finish the relationship with Kay. I have found myself thinking about Jay more and more, talking about her more and more. One of my friends even made a joke that I have a crush on her. The small group I was with all laughed and agreed. I of course played it off and I felt embarrassed because maybe I had talked about her too much, but it got me asking myself, do I have a crush on Jay? I find myself thinking about her often. I feel those flutters when I am going to work and know I'll get to see her or get a bit giddy when we are going to meet up. I hug her a little bit longer when we see each other and say goodbye. I get excited when I see she's messaged me. I have even dreamed about her. A couple of weeks ago, it was my birthday. It fell on a Monday, so not a very exciting day granted. I'd already arranged with my parents to see them the following weekend for belated presents/cards. My husband was extremely busy Monday. He had said he had a big meeting on. Anyway, I didn't get an acknowledgement, a card, a text. I went to work. Jay had already arrived, handed me a gift bag and card. Inside were some of my favorite chocolates from a handmade place down the road, which is well known I love, also not cheap, and a few other very thoughtful and personalized little things that only someone who knows me would think to get. She even took me for lunch and got me a little cake from my favorite bakery. I didn't tell her about my husband, but when she asked what were his and my plans for the evening, I didn't know what to tell her. I made an excuse and moved on. When I drove home that night, a little part of me had worked up expectation that perhaps he had arranged something special for when I got home. Maybe even a surprise party. I had even stupidly convinced myself this was the case, so much so I was really excited. When I walked through the door, nothing. Not a damn thing. He was slobbed in front of the TV drinking a beer. He even had the audacity to say, "You're a bit late, aren't you? What are we having for tea?" Translating to, "What are you going to make?" I told him, "Forget it, I'm going out." He turned to look at me and was so pissed, saying he'd had the worst day at work and was starving. I didn't say a thing, just got in my car and drove off. I drove straight to Jay's. Needless to say, she was very surprised when I rocked up, but welcomed me with open arms. We cracked open a bottle of wine, and she ordered a takeaway, and she got a few giggles out of me once I had calmed down. She didn't badmouth my husband once, just listened. My phone started blowing up. My husband. Apologies. The penny had finally dropped. My mom was also calling, so I put 2 and 2 together in that she had reminded him what day it was. The rest of the week I was flooded with flowers, gifts from my husband. His way of apologizing. Offers to do the things I enjoy doing. The works. We have the weekend at my parents' to celebrate my belated birthday, but it all feels fake and awkward from him. At some point the topic of kids gets brought up. My husband proudly exclaims it shouldn't be long and winks around the table. I feel sick. And so here I am. I know I am already emotionally cheating on my husband with Jay, and I don't even feel sorry. The more I think about it, the more I realize how neglectful he has been of me, how I do everything in my power to please him, make him feel special, sacrifices I've made to make him happy and valued, and I have had nothing in return for literal years. In the space of a few months, Jay has made me feel more special and wanted than he has in the last 5 years, and without even trying, I think. And if I am being honest, yes, I do have a crush on her. She really does give me butterflies and giddy buzz I have never ever felt in my life. I find I am thinking about her, missing her when I'm not with her. I feel crazy for feeling this way, but I have never felt like this about anyone ever. I don't know what to do. Reddit. Even if I did split from my husband, there is no guarantee Jay will even feel the same way. I know she is still hurting from her ex, and maybe she just sees me as a friend. Or maybe she has been what I needed to see. I deserve more. Or do I continue with my husband? Really try to make it work, even though I feel like I've tried everything and things change for a week or two but slip back to the same old ways. Do we have a baby? Would it bring us together? Oh, I don't know. I'm so sorry for the babbling, but I am at a loss. I have nobody I can speak to about this, so even one tiny comment could help me right now. I will try to answer any questions. Info. I have tried to communicate with him numerous times that I am unhappy with our life. We tried counseling 3 times, but each time he quit, saying it's a waste of money and that he's happy. I have literally begged him to do some of the things I like and to meet some of my needs, and he will try for a week or 2, at most a month, before we fall back to the same old tempo. Hello again, Reddit. I had a few people ask for an update from my original post, and I could do with some more advice. A lot has happened over the last couple of weeks. But overall, I think things are moving in a positive direction. I wanted to thank everyone for your advice. Good and bad, it really helped motivate me to where I am now. I sat down and had a conversation with B the next evening. It was a very long night. The long and short of it was I told him I wasn't happy and why, and that I hadn't been for a very long time. He pretty much deflected everything I had to say. A few of his choice lines included, "Why can't you just be happy? All you do is moan," and referring to the birthday incident, "I've proved how sorry I am. It wasn't that big of a deal." He refused to go back to therapy, saying it was a waste of time and money. I didn't feel like I was getting through at all, and eventually admitted I had started to develop feelings for someone else. He immediately jumped to the conclusion I had slept with someone and went ballistic. He had drunk quite a lot by this point and smashed a few things in anger. To be honest, it frightened me. It took me a long time to convince him I haven't slept with anyone, and when I felt like he was listening to me again, I explained that my feelings had developed purely from someone who was meeting my emotional needs and the needs that he hadn't met for the last 5 years, and listed said examples. I don't know if it was down to the drink, but he got incredibly nasty, calling me names, continued to smash things, accused me of sleeping with people, and then started grabbing stuff of mine and throwing it around, I think to insinuate packing up my stuff to leave. I called my mom to pick me up. My decision was made. I was done. With or without Jay, I was done. I've been staying at my mom's ever since. My family went to retrieve my stuff. B has been blowing up my phone with back and forth of calling me every name under the sun, to begging me to come home and saying he will do whatever it takes, but he told me everything I needed to know within the first 30 minutes of our talk. The last 11 days have felt very surreal, but overall, I am at peace with my decision. My friend is a solicitor and is helping with the legal stuff. So, on to Jay. She has been supportive and kind. I almost told her how I was feeling a few times, but she has had some news herself. Her ex-GF has been trying to reconnect with her to see if they can give it a second go. Jay's ex is offering to come to the UK or wants them both to go to NZ. I don't really know where Jay's head is at. I do know that she is hesitant for many reasons, whether I'm one of them or not. I don't know. I really want to shoot my shot, but I am absolutely petrified. I truly do believe there is something between us. Arg, I just don't know. Should I just tell her, or should I leave it and let the situation with her ex play out? So Reddit friends, I have an update. I have to say, I was somewhat shocked to discover 360 of you are following me, and I've had lots of very kind messages of encouragements and wholesomeness. I just wanted to say thank you. I also got lots of requests for an update. I thought I should wait for more substantial news, but for now I hope this will suffice. My ex-husband has decided to tell everyone that I am pregnant and that I've destroyed his family. His mom even came to my parents' place to beg me to see reason for her grandchild. I am not pregnant, never have been. I have avoided social media and rarely use it, but apparently, I'm being dragged hard. I really don't care at this point. It will be obvious there is no baby soon enough. I've had lots of support from my friends though, and they have been backing my corner wherever needed. I've also heard that he's been celebrating his freedom from his quote boring dead marriage, partying hard with lots of photo evidence. I even had a message from an unknown number to say he had slept with a woman or two in Amsterdam on a stag he'd been on a few years ago. Who knows? Seems I'm learning a lot. The messages begging me to come back have also stopped since my running away with the baby escapades. Anyway, enough about him. Oh, and for those of you who are wondering, I am in therapy. Always have been throughout this whole saga. Also, when I told B everything, I had asked him numerous times to please stop drinking because it was important, and he refused. I didn't purposefully wait for him to get drunk beforehand. I digress. Jay invited me for dinner at her place the other night. I haven't seen much of her the last week with all that's been going on, and I had a few days off work to sort some stuff out. So this was the first chance I'd had a proper catch up with her. I decided to tell her how I felt. In an ideal world, I would have liked to have taken more time to allow things to unfold organically and over time. I know jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire is not ideal, and yes, I agree. I do need time to figure out who and what I like and am, but time is not on my side at this point, and I do not want to live the rest of my life thinking what if there could have been something with this person. And so, I wrote her a letter. I was extremely nervous, and she could tell. She asked me what was up, and I took a few big gulps of wine and asked her if she would mind if I read something to her. She agreed. My hands were literally shaking, and for some reason I got really choked up. But I took some deep breaths and got through it. The gist of it was, I thanked her for all the support and kindness she had shown me over the last 7 months and for showing me that I deserved so much more than what I was settling for. I also said that I really wanted her to be happy, and no matter what she decided to do or where she decided to go, I just wanted her to find her happiness because she deserves it, and no matter what, she would always be welcome in my life, and I hoped we would always remain great friends. I told her that I wished I had more time, however. I needed to tell her something because if I didn't, I would always regret it. I explained that she had made more of an impact on my life than she could have ever imagined, and that I might be wildly missing the mark here, but that I had feelings for her. That I wasn't sure if I was just blinded by her kindness and love because I had been so starved of it. However, for me, it felt very real. I apologized if I had completely got the wrong idea, and regardless of whether she felt something in return, I would be completely at peace whatever she decided. I will forever be grateful for the lessons our friendship has taught me and growth that has allowed me to start my new chapter. This has been the greatest gift. When I had finished reading, I could literally feel my heartbeat in my head and my hands were trembling. I finally plucked up the courage to meet her gaze, and her eyes were filled with tears. She gave me a huge hug and said that was the nicest thing anyone had ever said. We both just cried for a bit. I kept saying over and over, "It's fine if you don't feel the same way," because I started to feel unbelievably vulnerable. She kept hugging me and then made enough distance between us so we could make eye contact, and she said, "Well, this really complicates things because I feel the same way." I literally thought my heart was going to burst. We hugged a bit more and made a few silly jokes to cut the emotion back. Reddit, I was a mess. Comparing notes, it looked like she had developed a crush at a similar time, but also never wanted to overstep any boundaries, so when anything relating to B came up, she steered well clear and would remain unbiased and always tried to encourage him to join us on any outings, etc. She also said when her ex got back in touch to try and get back together, she was very tempted to go as her feelings for me were getting stronger, and she never thought I would be interested being straight and coming out of a marriage. She saw leaving as a good opportunity to make that space from her feelings. She also said that deep down she doesn't want to go back to her ex as there is a lot of pain there. When Jay's dad died suddenly, Kay, her ex, wouldn't come to the UK to support her, which she doesn't think she can forgive her for. She also doesn't feel ready to leave her remaining family for a long while, if ever. It was a truly beautiful, wonderful evening. We basically sat up chatting for the rest of it. quite a few tears and lots of hugs. We agreed to take things extra slow. This is super new territory for me, and she respects I have a lot going on, as does she. She is soon to be leaving work as it's a temp job, but she has something else lined up. She invited me for our first proper date next week. I am so excited. We have been messaging nonstop. I literally feel like a giddy teenager. Once again, thank you Reddit for everything. The responses from the posts gave me a lot of courage and so much help. What do you think about this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Love you.